Is Todd standing. I am the man who takes people out into the field and has them either live interact with the ride when it's Sasquatch. Don't take my word for it. Watch my movie. Watch the episodes of Survivor Man. Listen to all the people I take out every year. This is what I do. We are very, very close to the discovery of this incredible species. Every year, our knowledge and experiences grow significantly. And it was about a year ago. I gave a deadline 4 years till the discovery is done and finished. But what does that even mean? So what I because honestly, hey Andy, and thanks everybody for tuning in. Oh, sorry, I missed last week. Just had to get out into the field and get some stuff done. So I was out working, but got a lot accomplished, and I'm happy to be back here. My apologies for not being there last week, and behind in lots of my videos, right? So, but anyways, I wanted to talk about this real quick too, just to make it clear that with the way things are, and I mean, who trusts? I don't know. Just there's a lot of the world is so crazy. I don't want to get into politics and stuff right now. Things are so absolutely crazy, but I feel like in the next 4 years, when I say the discovery is coming, I'm saying that I'm going to find a way to get a video or evidence or some significant piece of evidence of some kind that'll convince hundreds of millions of people to jump on board, and then we the people that know Sasquatch are real will just facilitate this discovery on our own through private funding, like what's going on right now with the gorillas. You know, Ellen DeGeneres is funding the gorilla campaigns because she's a huge fan of Dian Fossey's. You know, so this discovery is important, and hundreds of millions of people want to know about this. This is a discovery. No disrespect, gorillas are amazing. They're incredible discovery. It's an incredible body of work. The knowledge and understanding of primates, especially, I think, are so exceptional. Dolphins, whales, there's so many, right? But those of us that are specifically passionate about this Sasquatch discovery, it's a really, really significant big deal, and you know, it's so changing because they are the most man-like primates on the planet. But it's way beyond that. They're hominids. They're immensely closely related to us, and the 150 plus million people that really, really need this discovery need it because they need to reconnect with nature in a way that truthfully only the Sasquatch can show us and help us. So Holy Powers has a question right off the hop. That's awesome. Can you explain more about when you were picked up and was run through the woods? What led up to that? Well, what led up to that was the flare, and they were trying to get they wanted me to do a spiritual animal ritual. Did he just let you down and run away? He dropped me and he was very upset. I remember him walking away and he bashed a tree. He was really pissed off that I was literally willing to kill myself to get out of that hold. I didn't know what he was doing. I had no idea. And then next question is, was it the dominant male? Absolutely. And does he have a name? I've been told, and I'm going with this, that his name is Seeger. So it was the dominant male, 100%. I know him well, and yeah, I was told that by I did a little remote remote viewing, I guess. I was led on a remote view by a gentleman on the Conscious Vitality Network, and he spoke on behalf. He told me that he spoke on behalf of Seeger. He communicated with Seeger and told me that the dominant male's name is Seeger. What is this on my face here? Like eating chocolate or something? Sorry about that. But whether he's right or wrong is up for debate. But I'm okay with calling him Seeger. So, and I'm gonna go with it. I just kind of like to roll that way. In that, just do it that way until you pick a path and walk it until you decide that that's not the right path or something. You know, have a theory and adhere to it until you find out that theory is wrong. But at least you're trying. At least you're moving forward. Stopping and doing nothing is no good, right? So maybe his name is Seeger, maybe it's not. I'm going to move forward based on that. And if the big male wants to come and I'm calling him Seeger and he wants to come out and tell me his name's not Seeger, at least I was trying. right? And Jake's name is not Jake. There's a Jake Kubota, I think, is the correct name. Jane is not Jane. When I do Jane, sorry, I'm just looking for a picture. I don't have the pictures right here. But Jane is video for Sasquatch. That's not her name. I call her that. That's guaranteed not her name. Or maybe it is. I don't know. That's what I call her. So I'm going with Seeger for now, and we'll see how it goes. So, hello, Doug. Mary, let it be. Boom. Hello. That's what the Sasquatch are. For those of you that are new and don't know, the Sasquatch call themselves boom. They make that sound boom, and that's what they call themselves. Do you think they're real? Hello, Antonio Head. I don't think they're real. I don't believe in Sasquatch. I know they're real. Period. So I film them. I take people out and show them Sasquatch are real. Sasquatch are as real as deer and bears and trees and grass. That's how real they are. I know the trees are real. I know the grass is real. I know Sasquatch are real. It's that simple. Some people that have never seen believe the evidence. They're believers. They've had maybe something happen that makes them believe. Possibly I know they exist. Have a nice day. Period. That's it. Hello, Bill Daly. Yes, I am well. Get a Todd from Akondale South. That's a g'day. G'day. Awesome, Sammy Chicken. I always say good. I say geode, good day. That's g'day. That's Australian. I love us. Hey, James. How's it going? Hi from Oregon. Hello, Andy. Kyle. Thanks for tuning in today, Kyle. Kyle's September expedition. James is just many expeditions. He's a local. Hello from Florida. Hello, Laura. Kyle's in Florida. Laura. Kyle, who's speaking right above you, is in Florida. Greetings from sunny Glendale, Arizona. Hello, Arizona. What do you feel is the single best specific spot someone might see a Sasquatch? Oh my God, Greg. It's really, yeah, I can't answer. It's going to be, there is no best spot. It's really it's about the Sasquatch showing themselves to you. So it's about building a relationship. It's about finding a Sasquatch that is willing to expose himself to you, to come and interact with you. Because I'll tell you, if they don't want to interact with you, you're you're not gonna have any success. They can hear you coming. They know you're there, and if they want to stay away from you, they'll stay away from you. So it's finding an individual you particularly have chemistry with. That's what's going on in my research area on so many levels. So that's what I'd have to say. Berlin, New Jersey. I didn't even know there was a Berlin in New Jersey. Hello, Lisa Hinder. Hello, Todd from South Australia. Man, lots of Aussies today. I love Australia. I haven't been there yet, but man, I gotta go so bad. I keep trying to go, and I'll get there. I'm really excited to get out there. Have you heard many sightings encounters in Michigan? A few, a few. Yeah, I don't really like. I'm not keeping records. I'm not tracking things. So, but yes, hi Todd from Long Island, New York. Hello, Long Island. Another Australian. Look at this, man. Is there any, is there any Canadians or, are we short on Americans out there? Hey Todd, you familiar with Marble Mountain Bigfoot video? No. What are your thoughts about it? I don't know. Marble Mountain Bigfoot. I'll just look. Sometimes I see a video. I see a lot of stuff, and it's immediately just has so many flaws in it that I don't really give it a second thought, or I have background knowledge because, like I said, I've been doing this for quite a while, where I know that it's not authentic from legitimate sources. So, got my encounter experience, no doubt. Cool, carrying. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to put out there too. So I have some, I have interest in going to Arkansas. So anybody who has any information about specifically Arkansas, I believe, and if I'm not mistaken, isn't that where Boggy Creek the Boggy Creek incident was supposed to happen? So I don't know how I don't know how if it's completely contrived or what that story, but I believe Boggy Creek is in Arkansas. I just found that out today. And I've been talking to a gentleman from Arkansas who's had an amazing encounter, and so is his father. And I'm going to Arkansas probably January, February of next year, 2023. So I'm actually going to the southern United States. I'd like to go to Georgia, Tennessee, back to Alabama, Arkansas now on my list. So I'd like to, you know, go to quite a few different places in the South, maybe Texas. So I don't know. we'll see how it goes, right? And I'm going to Mississippi in November. Maybe it'll be yeah. So I've got Mississippi to do. So maybe I'll do some stuff. Maybe I'll even come to Arkansas in November or December. That might work out better, but it's coming. It's coming in less than 12 months from now. I'll be in the southern United States, having a look around. I loved going to Alabama. My mom lived in Texas for many, many years. I really appreciated some of the beautiful places there. And when it's snowing here, I can go do stuff there, right? So the question from Chris Scott: do you believe Sasquatch are in Jersey in the Pine Barrens? Oh, like I don't know. I've never been there. You know, do I believe it? Yeah, I can't even formulate it because I'll tell you something, Chris. They're in places I just there's been so many times I'm like, there's no way they're there, and they are. They're in places like they shouldn't be there, and they're surviving and potentially even thriving in spots. It just absolutely blows my mind. So, one thing this species has taught me is they are absolutely astonishing, amazing, mind-boggling, spectacular. Like the things they're capable of are totally astonishing. So, hello, Russell from Montana. Scott, hi, Todd. I don't miss any of your awesome shows. Thank you. Oh, that's from Connecticut. Thanks, Scott, for your support. I really appreciate it. Quebec, there we go. There's some Canadians. I've been hunting. This is Vivid Outdoorsman. I've been hunting now twice. Hard rocks thrown at trees beside, beside my stand horizontally. Does this mean they don't like me or what? Absolutely not. If you if you were saying that rocks were thrown at me and hurt me, then I would say possibly. But they're just trying to get your attention. So I can't think of a single time, even when I'm leaving the research area, I had boulders and stuff thrown at me. That was just them communicating with me to adhere to certain rules. And as someone who's ignorant to what their rules are, I appreciated that, right? It's a form of communication. And it, believe me, who is this? This is from Vivid Outdoorsman. If if they wanted to make it you afraid, if they wanted to make it a negative experience, you wouldn't be asking me, you wouldn't be questioning me. These are beastly primates. These guys are powerful. They're baptized in predatorial behaviors. They love the elk, they love the deer, they love their environment, and they kill the elk and they kill the deer and they eat them. If you can really understand that mentality, like these guys understand the harsh realities of nature, of the wilderness, of only the strong survive. So there's no there they're just built like that. You really have to understand that. Like these guys have a wildness in them. They know what it's like to take a life and kill with their bare hands. They do this. This is how they battle amongst themselves. It's survival of the fittest. So when a beastly, powerful being of this capacity wants to let you know you're not welcome, you're gonna know. I promise you, you're gonna know. And when you're in a position where you're interested, you're like, wow, rocks are being thrown at me and this stuff is going on. It's to me, very, very positive, like extremely positive. So I think they're just trying to get your attention. And you did say, been hunting now twice, had rocks thrown at the tree beside my stand, not even at you. So, man, that's really cool. They're just trying to get your attention. They're trying to let you know that they're there. And who knows what I've heard of hunters, dude, where they had the deer like run down past them. Like deer don't get herded in your way. And this one hunter was like, man, I go to my tree stand and they just come running down the hill and then boom, I just pop a fish in the barrel. It happens every time I go out. I go out hunting two days a year and I get deer every time I go out. Because the Sasquatch loved that guy. They wanted the whole process to happen. They were like, cool, here's a deer, go have a deer, here you go. And maybe they liked watching him skin it, process it. Clearly they like the man's energy. And that's so important to Vivid Outdoorsman too, is a lot of hunters love nature, right? They adore it, they treasure it. They love the animals. I've seen hunters out here when the deer are starving, they're throwing bales out there, they're giving them corn because they love those animals. Like they cherish those beautiful deer, the elk. I mean, that to me, I don't know. That's a real outdoorsman, right? And you call yourself Vivid Outdoorsman, like you know, people. it's very rare I'll hear about a hunter who just wants to kill those vermin, right? You got to respect them. So, and I feel a lot of hunters are that way, especially meat hunters, right? So, Fox, hey Fox, you never caught it live. You're here, 2 a.m. Fox. Thanks for tuning in. You must be far away. Hi Todd, Judy from Cape Cod, Mass. Love your videos. Everything is so amazing. I was just watching a show where it said Bigfoot eat people. Nah. No. I mean, I can't say anything universally. There are people that eat people. Jeffrey Dahmer ate people. There are people that are cannibals, right? Maybe there's some crazy Sasquatch. That's not typical behavior. So I don't buy it for a second. Please subscribe. Thank you, Andy. We have over 260 videos. Wow. We have the Discovering Bigfoot website. I'm just thinking, man, we have that many videos now. It's really cool. A virtual library of Sasquatch information. It's true. DiscoveringBigfoot.org. Thank you for that, Andy. Do you know if there are any Sasquatch in Tennessee? Well, I've got some people in Tennessee, quite a few people I've talked to. So I haven't been there, but I feel like I believe it's the Smoky Mountains. I feel like there's a pretty good chance based on the ring of authenticity I've heard in these sightings and these people that have impressed me. Uh, I think there's a pretty good chance. Like somebody just asked me about the Pine Barrens. I don't know anything about the Pine Barrens. Not in that people haven't called me and told me stuff, but it's just there are people in Tennessee that I actually have and speak with and know, and I have a good feeling about it. So I can't tell you much more than that. Why do they call them the Boom? They just call themselves the Boom. It's how Sasquatch refer to themselves. Boom. That's a sound. It's a sound in nature they make that nothing else can duplicate. Like it's a deep booming sound. Survivor Man talked about it because he heard it, and it's a very powerful sound. It should be very intimidating too because it comes from their power. It's like I was saying I don't think anything more than at least a 16-year-old Sasquatch, a male 16-year-old could make that sound, and maybe I don't think a female would do that. I don't know why I feel that way. I just do. I feel like it's a male thing. It's a male going boom, just making that sound. So I've also never seen a female boom track. So just based on there's a lot of the stuff, guys, until I'm put to task, like until you guys ask me, like until right now, I was like, man, yeah, I never saw a female. I don't think I've never seen evidence of a female doing it. Because Jane came around and females have come around and they're a little more elusive. There's females, right? They'll go around a mud puddle instead of stomping through. Like my male dogs and my female dogs are different. It's a female attitude in general is softer and feminine and cleaner and more organized. Maybe I don't know. I know these are very general things, but I feel in my limited amount of research, those are my feelings based on what I've seen out in the field and experience. So, good evening from Scotland. Loch Ness monster is a fairy tale. It leaves no trace. Sasquatch, however, and then he's got some cool. Well, thanks, Fox. So you're from Scotland. That's cool. Very cool. I don't know anything about Loch Ness monster. I have no perspectives, no opinions on it. I saw the video where there was one looking at you from a tree. You can see part of its face and eyes on one of your videos. Well, I have lots of videos like that. I have quite a few. I saw a video where there was one looking at you from a tree. You're probably talking about Kubota. Yeah, and that's a good shot, Kubota. Hey, Todd, do Sasquatch have fur? Oh, no, just hair. Or just long hair. And yeah, and it's just, so I know it's just hair because gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, and human beings and bonobos all have hair. We don't have fur. And they have, like gorillas will have maybe thicker follicles and a more clustered follicles, but it's very, very important. No primates have fur. We all have hair, and it's. I mean, water doesn't wick off us. And gorillas hate it when it rains. They get miserable and depressed in the rainy season because the water just goes right through their hair onto their. And I've seen the same thing with Sasquatch. They don't come out. They come out extremely less of the time in rain. Like I've only ever had one thing ever happen in the Ray, and that was an extremely rare occurrence. So, have you heard of any sightings in Arizona? Yes, quite a few, but I don't have anybody down there that I've can substantiate for. David, somebody says UFOs. I don't know anything about UFOs. Heidi from Norway. Hey, Norway. That's a napolyptic name I can't pronounce. I don't have a cam. So this is Richard Harrington. I don't have a camera. I don't have camera equipment, but I interact with them in a personal base. I would love to chat with you sometime. I'm a friend on Facebook. Cool. Yeah, send me an email on Facebook, Richard. I'll keep an eye out for it. So lots of people that do this research don't have cameras. They don't worry. They don't want to do camera. I really respect that. So, but with me, to get the following that I need, I intend to keep using cameras when I can, and it's complicated, but I'm working it out. Sasquatch are absolutely real, no doubt. Thank you, Fox. Hi from Windsor. Hello. There we got some Canadians. Hi from Minnesota. Oh, there we go. We're mostly American. Colorado. Look at that. Oh, and I should be saying names. John Harold from Colorado. Name is Greg Farrell from Indiana. Okay. There we go. Doug Kearns from New Orleans. Well, and I am Canadian. I don't know what that means. Maybe I'd live in a more northern climate. So my climate is more similar to Montana and Washington State and Idaho. Other than that, our governments are our governments, and you know, um, it is what it is. But I'm a North American. I tell you, I love the United States. The United States is really they've done so much for this discovery, so much. Americans have like it's unbelievable the amount of evidence that the United States has precipitated. Very impressive. Hello, Todd and Seeger. Yeah, there you go. Now we got it. And Seeger is the potentially the Seeger is what I'm going to be calling the dominant male of my Bigfoot research site in Radium, British Columbia. What does Bigfoot poop look like? It's big and it's long. It seems, well, I'll tell you, that's actually not a weird question, Mary, because I've had not many, less than half a dozen scat samples that I'm sure are Sasquatch. This is going to sound strange, but they seem to, one of the ways I know that it's Sasquatch scat is they seem to squat down and step forward as it comes out. So they get like a big log like that. It's long. And I've seen that quite a few times. So the scat sample, one of the reasons Survivor Man ended up working with me is so he was staying in Jasper at the Jasper Fairmont doing a really cool seminar or something about survival. And so I knew he was coming. So before on my way there, though, I stopped for a few days on a native reserve, and I got a scat sample and I brought it back to him. And it really impressed him because it was long, and this is not a gross topic either, guys. Because Sasquatch scat, all the times I've seen it, I know they must eat meat, and I've never seen any signs of meat. It's completely vegetative, and they were eating things in that scat that shouldn't have been in there. So what it's taught me is they have a highly vegetative diet, and um, yeah, and it's big and it's long. So when Survivor Man saw it, I mean, he's seen bear scat before. He's been in Alaska and seen huge brown bear scat. It was bigger than that. Like it was like huge. It was so big, so big. And then even it was a fancy, like a 5-star fancy Fairmont hotel. These are these gorgeous, illustrious, amazing, kings and queens stay at these hotels, and I have Sasquatch's cat, and he's like, waiter, plate. You got a plate, put it on there. He pulls out one of those fancy butter knives. He's breaking it open. He's looking at it. So he was all like, he's looking good. He's all clean and shaven, and I'm like dirty and spent 3 days in the bush. Coming to this fancy restaurant, sit down with Survivor Man, but he loves it. That's his main thing, right? So best place to see Sasquatch is in the backcountry. I used to think that, but I don't know because there's so many people that have these amazing habituation sites right at their homes, right? And I think that's better. Every day you wake up and there's Sasquatch potentially around, right? So, aloha from Hawaii, where I believe there are no Sasquatch. One of the few places I will say I'm quite convinced there's not a Sasquatch in Hawaii. And then we got Sasquatch Happens saying, "What's up, Todd? When you come into Oregon, many Bigfoots there." I totally agree. Oregon, there's Sasquatch in Oregon, 100%. Tracks and the people I've spoken to and people I've cooperated with. Should I be saying 100%? Maybe I should. 99.99% chance there's Sasquatch in Oregon because I haven't been there. Just the evidence is so significant. If they're not there in Oregon now, 100% chance they have been. Oregon's gorgeous habitat, right? Drop a like, guys. Oh, cool. Thank you for saying that. Andy, Todd, why won't those Chinese scientists that you talked about disclose their gigantic Bigfoot evidence to the world? Sounds as if they have answers. Well, I talked to them about that. They said, look, this is their perspective. Literally, they feel like they've been raped by Western culture, by England, by the United States. Like, as an example, he said, look, Teddy Roosevelt, the president of the United States, in the American Museum of Modern History, I believe it's in New York, at the New York Museum, they have 3 pandas on display. Those pandas were shot and killed illegally by the president of the United States' sons who snuck into China and killed a rare species that was endangered and nearly extinct. And Americans went in there and went and killed 3 and took them. And they said, and here it is on display at the Museum of American Modern History. F you, China. So that's how they feel. And there were multiple examples of how the Chinese feel that Western culture has raped and damaged and stolen their cultural, like the Great Wall of China. There's a artifact they showed me that's stolen from the Great Wall of China, and they want it back. And Americans say, I hope this isn't profanity, but so they, that's just the way they feel. And I think they have a perspective, especially since that's a known fact, that things like that have gone on. So artifacts and animals and things are stolen from China all the time. And they're still on display, and, screw China. So what they did tell me is whatever you have, we'll match it. We'll go public. They said, you guys are far behind us. We're way ahead. We don't really, once I got them, or once they had their DNA and they said, look, it's the same species, just a subspecies that came across. So that's Sasquatch and Yeti are the same species. Similarities are like black bears in China and black bears in North America. Very, very similar. Although there's definitive differences, extremely obvious. It's extremely obvious they're descendant from the same species. They're just subspecies of one another. So, but anyways, what they told me is they said, look, whatever you get, we'll match it. And I said, what if I come back with a body? And they said, whatever you get, we'll match it. I said, what if I had come back with one in a cage? They said, whatever you get, we'll match it. And I just went, okay. So, and I've never been able to, I've produced excellent videos and I do some pretty amazing things. But the truth is, gosh, I haven't worked with them and I haven't even spoken to them in probably 10 years. So I had some dealings with the Hong Kong Bank of Canada and them that kind of went south. And I don't know, I haven't kept up with them. So I think I could still find them because it was Beijing University that they were out of. So I could probably look that up and stuff. But I don't know. You exit, move on with life. You prioritize and go on. So hello, Todd from Pennsylvania. Americans, obviously. Yes, Canadian right here. There we go. Thank you, Joanne. Anyways, it's not a competition, guys. I was just having fun. I just noticed there was a lot of Aussies, which is cool. And I know this is, we're just having fun with it, right? Edward J. Wow, that's neat. What did Edward J. say? Hope I answered that question. Hey, Todd from New Brunswick here. Have you ever heard of a theory saying that some make the sound of a territorial male partridge? Have you ever heard? Oh, no. I've never heard about that, but it wouldn't surprise me in the least. They can make bird sounds. They make saw-wheat owl sounds. They can make sounds like that'll blow your mind. Just as an example, the best example ever is Survivor Man made a call out to them. This happened in the episode. And Survivor Man is a professional singer. He has an incredible singing voice. Probably one of my favorite songs of all times is called Arctic Mistress by Les Stroud. He is a very, very talented singer, songwriter, musician. This man is making these calls. And so he does 2 calls, and I'm unimpressed, and I'm not afraid to tell him there was no heart in that call. I don't know how to explain and make a call. I just do woo, just make a sound, like just it has to come from the heart, it has to come from the soul, just make it amazing, right? So he did 2 calls. So he does a call. I go, no, didn't feel it. He can't believe it because he's like, I'm Survivor Man. I go, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, Les. If I don't feel it, I don't feel it, and I'm not impressed. So 2 hours later, he makes another call. I go, nah, it's better, but no, that you're better. Then he goes, what are you talking about? You don't even know me. I go, well, I think you're better than that. That just wasn't ringing with me. So at the very end of the hike, or when we're as far as we're gonna go, we're like he said, we're out there. We're way out there. We're as far as I could take you on a day hike. We've been hiking like beasts all day. Gets right up to the top of the ridge, and he goes, I even remember it was better, longer, deeper. I mean, he's got a beautiful singing voice. And when I heard it, I was like, he didn't even have to. He was looking off in a different direction, and he started smiling, and he looked over at me, and I was smiling. I was like, I just nodded because it was beautiful. What an incredible, beautiful, whooping sound it was. It was gorgeous. And the Sasquatch heard it. What did the Sasquatch do? Sasquatch was down low. He ran up a mountain that would have taken me an hour. But since he was a Sasquatch, it took him about 5 minutes, went up to the top of the mountain, and about 5 times louder, he called back that precise sound that a professional human artist singer made. That's not possible. So that is, well, it is possible. It happened, but that's how incredible they are. How can a Sasquatch duplicate a professional, talented? Like, we're not just talking Survivor Man is a singer. He's an extremely talented, trained singer. He's got a trained singing voice, and he was born with an excellent singing voice. Most people can't sing. He can. He has an excellent voice, and he's trained. He's a professionally trained singer, and a Sasquatch heard it and duplicated it back 5 minutes later, better than Survivor Man did because it was 5 times louder, and it was identical. Like it couldn't have been an echo because it's 5 minutes later, and it literally on the show it stopped us in our tracks, and I couldn't believe it. But the Sasquatch do that to me all the time. 2-3 times on an expedition, they'll just blow my mind with what they're capable of. It's absolutely astonishing how incredible these beings are. Astonishing, mind-blowing. One of the reasons why me and thousands of other people like me are so passionate about this discovery, because they are really that amazing. So you're talking about, this goes back to the question, the partridge sound. They could. Sure they could. They can make partridge sounds, frog sounds. They can do all sorts of stuff. But doesn't mean we should go around. This is where I'll butt heads with Survivor Man. And I talked to my colleagues about this because recently, in quite a few shows, he says that every time I hear a sound, it's a Sasquatch. That's horseshit. That's absolute horseshit. So not even close. I'm very skeptical. When I know it's a Sasquatch, I say it's a Sasquatch, but him saying that is absolutely not true. I can show you in the TV show, there's 5 or 6 times I'm like, that's a bear, that's a deer, right? We saw trees that were all down. I go, none of those are tree breaks, that's snow load. So we all agreed. So there's 5 examples in the show that I said that's not Sasquatch. And he's saying everything I see, everything I hear is Sasquatch. That is absolutely untrue. So, and he shouldn't be saying that because, again, I had to talk to some of my expeditioners, like colleagues and friends of mine. James is on here. Kyle is on here. Hey, guys, do I go around saying that's a Bigfoot, that's a Bigfoot? No, I don't. That's a bear, that's a deer, that's elk. Like, I really, and to be honest, when I talk to my colleagues, they go, dude, when you say it's a Bigfoot, right? I put my life into that. Let me give you 2 examples, because Kyle's on right now. And Kyle was there when he saw me back up to a Sasquatch. Kyle knows, like anybody should know, if that's a bear or a mountain lion over there, I'm going to die, right? Death. You don't back up to a bear or a mountain lion. You're signing your own death warrant. I was so sure in New York that that was a Sasquatch out there that I backed up towards her. And it was, and I was right, and everything was cool. But if Craig or Logan are watching, so we had all the Sasquatch activity, Sasquatch are doing breaks, we're calling out, thinking there's a Sasquatch around, and something makes some sound in the bush, kind of charges at us. I did not back up towards it. I was not 100%. I was not feeling like it was a Sasquatch. So we left, and I actually moved my expeditioners around to safety. We backed off, and we just stayed away. Good thing I did, because you know what it was? It was a black bear. We went back the next day, saw black bear scat, the black bear bed that he slept in, and the black bear tracks. If I would have done what I did in New York with Kyle, if I would have backed up to that bear, he'd have killed me. I'd be dead. So good thing I don't think everything is Sasquatch. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here right now. The times I know it's a Sasquatch, I'll act accordingly. But until I'm 100.0% sure, I draw my gun. I'm ready to fight, because bears will kill you, man. These are wild bears out here. Mountain lions will kill you and eat you, and you will die. Right? This is the ecology that I go on. If you're not careful, if you make mistakes, the wolves will kill you. They don't kill people, but if you screw up, if you feed them, if you make mistakes, they'll get you and they'll kill you. And they're an apex species. And there's 100 other ways you can die out there. Avalanches and getting lost, and just there's 1,000 things that can go wrong out in the backcountry. So I'm very, very well trained. And even that being said right there, how do I keep coming back safe? How come none of my expeditioners, we go backcountry, man. Like, we are in the backcountry wilderness. If I was thinking everything's a Sasquatch, I would be dead. I wouldn't be here breathing right now, because I goddamn well know the difference between mountain lion, Sasquatch, wolves, moose, rutting, or a Sasquatch. I better know the difference. Otherwise, I'm not going to survive. And that's what I have to say about that. So let's answer some more questions. Hello, New Brunswick. Sasquatch happens. American here. Hey, USA, USA. Quebec. I got a little thing going on here. I guess I shouldn't have done that. I first thought Jane and Jake were robotic heads, but I'm starting to realize how hard that would be, and that Jake and Jane might be real. Well, that's how the journey starts, isn't it, Raymond? I'll tell you too, Raymond. There's some photographs of Jane that are terrible. I took photographs. There are photographs that I took of Jane when my camera was set for low light, and she was in direct sunlight, and her color looks awful. Her face is overexposed. She looks like an Ewok. But you know what? I talked to my colleagues, and I said, I don't give a crap. It's a Sasquatch. Put it out there. I'm like, but you can't do that. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose following. You're gonna lose support. People aren't gonna believe you. I don't give a rat's patootie. I've seen pictures of gorillas and chimpanzees when they look fake and they're real. In fact, I found out from a National Geographic photographer, they're not allowed to photograph gorillas or orangutans in the rain because they look like plastic, look fake. I've seen the photographs. That's actually a National Geographic photographer rule. You do not put photographs of them. They look either plastic or dead. So they don't photograph gorillas or orangutans in the rain. And I don't care, because I know that's a Sasquatch. And if people don't believe it, people don't buy it, I don't care, because I know it's a Sasquatch. And I know one day this discovery will come to light. Eventually, we will know the truth. The truth is going to come out. Guaranteed. It's going to happen. I know that as sure as corn chitlins in June. I don't know what corn chitlins are. But anyways, it's going to happen. And when that truth comes out, people are going to look at my footage, and then they're going to know that the Patterson footage was real, and everything Todd Standing filmed was absolutely 100% real. And I am so not afraid of the truth. That is real. Jane and Jake is real. Kubota's real. It's real. And I'm not afraid of the truth, and I never will be. I'll stand beside the truth, beside it, behind it, above it, below it. I stand with the truth. And the truth is the species is real. Those photographs are real. And Bob Gimlin taught me about that, how people hated him and called him a fake, a fraud, a liar most of his life. And now he goes to conferences and they treat him like a hero. And I remember him telling me, he was actually at the Sasquatch summit that I was at. Half the people there were all hating on me and negative and telling Bob I'm a fake and a fraud. And Bob came along and talked to me and talked to everybody and told everybody, stood up on my table and said, let me tell you something. This man pointed to me. That was me 20 years ago. All you out there calling him a fake or a fraud, He picked up a picture of Jane. He said, "I've seen a Sasquatch. This is what a Sasquatch looks like, and this man has filmed Sasquatch." And then he said, "Todd, and don't you worry about all these haters." He had a little. They gave him an award for lifetime achievement or something. He said, "Todd, in 20 years, they're all going to know your footage is real. They're going to give you lifetime achievement awards and kiss your ass. And there'll be some other guy, some other young guy coming up below you. And you remember how they treated him. You remember how they treated you, because when they treat him that way, you stand up for that person like I'm standing up for you. Bob Gimlin is an amazing human being. Boy, did he teach me stuff." So, Raymond, congratulations. There's no robotics. I don't do robotics. This is my, it's just not. It's real. I don't make, even right now, gosh, I just saw just this week, guys. I saw people posting negatively about my Jake and Jane photographs, saying that my sister's a special effects makeup artist and she made, like, they're still saying that idiotic stupidity. This is all proven fake. Todd's sister's a known special. She's admitted that this is all lies. These are goddamn lies. I don't know how else to put it to you. My sister is not, I don't have any special effects. I never worked with a special effects makeup artist ever. I have a guy coming out this year who's a special effects makeup artist. He knows I'm legit because he knows that I couldn't have made those things. And he's like, maybe you shouldn't be working. I don't, come out and work with me. Let's just be transparent, right? He's going to come out to show another perspective from a special effects makeup artist that these can't be faked. And he's going to talk about why that is. So, but you'll see, Raymond. Everybody will see. It'll all come to light that my stuff is authentic and real. So, Canada, now known as Comedia, Crime Minister Trudeau. Yes, we're having quite a bit of trouble, but we're not going to talk politics today. Please hit the thumbs up icon. Thank you, Andy. If you're enjoying all the show, thank you all. Yes, thank you very much. Same here, Janice. Hello, Todd. This is Debbie from upstate New York. Hello, Debbie. Chris from Michigan. Hey, Todd from Washington State. I love Washington State. That's southern British Columbia. So I just love Washington State. It's amazing. What's the youngest Sasquatch you've ever encountered? I'll talk about that. A friend saw a small one once to Mount Baker. Mount Baker is in view of, we have areas where we can see Mount Baker all the time in Canada. So I've heard them around me quite a few times. I've seen them quite a few. I think the youngest one I ever saw, I talked about it in the episode of Survivor Man, where he looked like the way a young gorilla has an afro. He looked like that. He was jet black. And it was an amazing encounter. I wish I was more cognizant, because I was like 10 days into a 7-day expedition, and I was exhausted and tired. And oh man, I was search and rescue. That was an episode, an expedition where search and rescue had gone looking for me. And I was so burnt out, exhausted, tired, bleeding, suffering. Oh my God. So I questioned that I'd seen that Sasquatch. That night, I saw like a little root in it, or a ball in a tree. Like, I thought it turned into a squirrel. And then the ball was gone, and then the squirrel was there, and I wasn't even sure if I was seeing things or what the hell. You got to understand, guys, like, when you're on an expedition like that and you've been out there for that many days and you're getting 2 hours sleep at night and you're not eating properly, your body's toxic, your body's consuming its own muscle tissue to survive, like, you're just toxic and exhausted, and weird things happen. But this young Sasquatch that I saw, it was also a basis for me too to start judging age, because I believe that Sasquatch was 2 years old, and I started judging my age ranges based on that, because I also, when I went back there, I found his track. So that's what really put me over the top. Was I went back there just a couple weeks later, I think, yeah, and I saw the spot. There was no black object there anymore, and then he had his track on the ground, and John Bitternagel confirmed the kind of look of the track. So and then I started deducing, well, that the oldest that Sasquatch could have been is 3, the youngest he could have been is 1, so I'm plus or minus a year, which is pretty close, right? And so I believe I saw a 2-year-old, and I saw that guy in broad daylight. Again, I know I was a little out of whack and stuff, but man, I had a good look at him. I wasn't sure. He was so black. He was so steady, and he didn't move. He's just looking at me. And I was downhill from him. And he was just looking right at me like this, unmoving. And then I saw him blink. Ah! My bear got, and I started to get really scared because it made me think of like seeing a grizzly bear cub or mountain lion babies, right? Scary, like mom moms protect their babies violently. So I was afraid. So I took a couple more steps, turned around, looked. He was still there, and you kind of deny it in your head too. All my expeditioners that see a Sasquatch, not all, the vast majority of them, like 97% of people that see a Sasquatch with me deny it, and I still do. You know, I do. I, I deny it too much because it's such a big deal to see a Sasquatch. So even to this day, with all the videos I have, all the experiences I've had, all the sightings I've had or been around, I still question when I see one. I still question when it happens because it's so overwhelming. I still question it a little bit sometimes. So, do you ever beat your chest like a gorilla? No, no, I don't do that because I don't want to. That's from Minority Report because I don't want to. I don't want to be like, hey, I'm because I'm nothing. You can have the strongest man in the world out there, and you're like a pipsqueak to a Sasquatch. So my way to attract their attention is to love nature, to appreciate nature, to learn about nature. So my teachers will come and teach me more because I'm always missing stuff, right? So, so JJ, what are my thoughts on the Patterson-Gimlin film? I think I talked about it. It's real. I don't even say I think it's real. It's real, guys. Done deal. It's real. There's 50 things about that footage that just, I think it's the greatest piece of footage of all time. It's just so amazing. Footprints, like this is what a Sasquatch footprint looks like, and that's Patty. This is her track. They casted that. It's got a mid-tarsal joint in it. They couldn't have known that stuff. There's just too many things. We talk about the Patterson film, but you know what? Jeff Meldrum does an incredible job of that. That's his job. He took that on, and he does an amazing job. For me to kind of eke through it isn't appropriate. It's better just let Jeff do his little thing and talk about it. There's a report on the internet from from the person in 1985. Okay, why would Sasquatch want to deal with humans, as it could be death, either? And you're right, Richard. Probably why they don't, right? So, emailed me. Thank you, Elvis Uribai. Have you ever heard? This is from Jeffrey. Have you ever heard of a Sasquatch that is deceased? Is diseased? Oh, I think it's diseased. I wouldn't know. I've seen in California there was a young male who seemed a little overweight and limped. So had that. Diseased though. No. No, they all everything I've ever seen to do with them, with the exception of that one Sasquatch that walked strange. I mean, maybe he was deformed, maybe he had a bad injury. But the native person that directed me and told me about the limp, he called him the limping Sasquatch. Apparently he's been limping like that for many, many years. So that's the only one that I've ever seen that wasn't or had any knowledge of a Sasquatch that wasn't strong and healthy. Yeah, all the more I think about it, that's such a good question. I just wanted to give it some thought. Strong, healthy, like Kubota looked good. Kubota always looks good. He looks healthy. I mean, Kubota's built differently. He's not a big Sasquatch. People are built differently, though, right? Some people are tall, some people are short, some people have, you know, different things about them, different, lots of different things. But Kubota's healthy. Jake's always been healthy, and I mean like really healthy, really, really healthy. The old Sasquatch, who I believe is the shaman of the troop, like he might look, he does look slimmer in the legs. Because like a man, when they get older, their legs get slimmer. They get that older look to him. He looks like that, but he still moves good and he looks healthy. He looks strong, you know. he flows. When he walks, he has like a flow. So I've never seen, with that one exception, every Sasquatch I've ever seen just looks extremely healthy and fit and strong. 100%. What a good question. So, hey Todd, Joe from Modesto, California, saying keep up the good work. Thank you, Joseph. I really appreciate it. Why do you think the Sasquatch like little kids? Oh, well, I did a video about it, right? So just watch that video, just from even not from very long ago. I think it's just last week or so. But and actually, I'll expand upon that. Oh my God, like my little boy growing up, man, he had talents that have changed and not been. If you have like, and it's his ESP, it's his extrasensory perception. When he was little, he could pick up things, he could read things. He was very clean, you know, like I have a 4-year-old and two 3-year-olds that I live with, niece and nephew and my daughter. They were in, I was ice bathing yesterday and they jumped in the water. They couldn't wait to get in there. Like here I am training. My son and I are training. My son's 13. We're training in ice water, right? These 3-year-olds and a 4-year-old jump in the water right up to halfway into the ice water, no problem. They're laughing and having a good time. How tough is that? So, and they're just clean though, right? There's something special about the way children are really clean. They haven't been so indoctrinated, and I can understand that, just from that perspective alone. But I'm not brave enough to bring my children out into the research area with me around Sasquatch. This will be the first year ever. So my son is 13 this year. This will be the first time ever he's going on a 7-day expedition with me, and there's another 13-year-old from the United Kingdom and his dad that are coming out. So it's going to be a father dad expedition that I'm really looking forward to. But I'm gonna take super good care of those boys. Those will be the youngest people I've taken out on expedition ever, and yeah, I'm a little concerned about it, but we'll all get through fine. I'll take extra super good caution care of those boys. Uh, but 13 is very indoctrinated, right? It's very confused. My son's doing TikTok, and he's lost a lot of the gifts that he had. He had some amazing gifts, and he's lost them. And I'm trying to get them back and develop new gifts and clean them up, because man, society is so bunged up, and it doesn't encourage extrasensory perception. It doesn't encourage somebody to be empathic and follow your feelings and trust your instincts and your heart. It's really sad. It's really really sad, and for that reason, it makes a lot of sense for me to think that Sasquatch would be more attracted and open to children. And I hear those stories all the time from the reserves about children and the Sasquatch interacting with them and playing with them and stuff. Boys that have grown up and said, I used to play with the Sasquatch all the time. I thought it was, the kid from across the street, and I used to play. I thought he was the gorilla kid, and yeah, it makes sense to me because children are very open to that stuff and very easygoing about it. They don't have the paradigms that I do, right? I'm sure I teach every day, which is awful. But anyways, that's my show for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Oh man, there's a really good chance. So I'll be doing the show next week. Should be for sure. I thought I was going to do the show last week. It was just when I was out, I couldn't get internet where I wanted. But I'm not going out. I'm actually in post production right now. I got all my hard drives here, working on Discovering Bigfoot Part 2. I don't know if we're going to call it Discovering Bigfoot Part 2, but I'm working on a production that'll have new Sasquatch footage in it that I'm putting into it. So it's very exciting time. Thanks so much for tuning in. There'll be Throwback Thursday tomorrow, Sasquatch Sunday on Sunday. And yeah, we'll keep asking the questions, keep moving forward with this discovery. Until I see you next time, take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you then. Bye for now.